I've had in my personal possession a Yorx new wave sort of record player, cassette deck, and AM/FM radio combo player in my possession for a few months, maybe a year at this point. And ever since I've had it, the record player never worked, but I recently undertook attempting to repair this device from 1989 and to see if I can get it to work. So I took the record player part of it off, which sits at the top so it's easy to get out, and I've discovered that either the motor doesn't work or the belt just over time sort of lost tension to the point where it doesn't spin the record deck, which is a possibility. Those are the only two likely things that I think may have happened, because everything else with it works. The tape deck works, because I've used that several times. I've even featured that in a video before on this channel, and the AM/FM radio still works, which is amazing, because nobody listens to AM/FM radio anymore, especially FM or AM radio. Yes, AM radio. But I will show you, maybe there's some clips of it right now going through, but I want to show you in detail of what the inside of this thing looks like, because when I took it apart, I was actually very, very amazed at what was inside. So this right here is the player itself, and you can see the record player bit on top, and I just kind of want to adjust the camera to the point where you'll be able to see inside of this with relative ease and without actually having to modify the camera even further, maybe in post. But it certainly is very interesting to see the inside of this. Go ahead and raise that up probably there. Get that in closer. So this is a very janky thing. Clearly we have the record player. I'll take the dust cover off. That comes off relatively easy. And then that reveals this. And this has already been unscrewed, so you just lift that up. And then what I found amazing is there's only one cable, right? Actually, the cable's not even attached. So that is what the underside of this. So this is the motor, and then within here is the belt that attaches to the motor that spins and controls everything. And I'm really hoping it's just the belt, because I don't want to have to do any soldering to get that undone and then resolder a new motor in there to get that undone. So there's a little bit of damage because I had to take a clip out, so we'll take that look at that later. But this is what the inside looks like right here. Take that off the tripod for a second. This is the inside of it. Very, very empty and just not a whole lot of stuff. This is the power unit right here, the power supply. And then what I found interesting was for the AM/FM channel selection, this wheel, when you spin the knob to change the station right out here, that it's a mechanical thing. So there's a little knob right in there where the wire wraps around, which then controls that little thing. And as you can see from the front, it's a little red light that lights up that spins or moves back and forth. And it's connected by a wire that wraps around that knob several times, goes over here, connects to that, which there's a couple of wires that hook up to a red LED, and the wire goes down, wraps around here several times, and then connects right back up to that. So it's actually connected right there to that spring, which I find very interesting because this is all mechanical. And so you got right back here the inputs for the speakers, and then the TV out, because you could hook this up to your TV and have it as an entertainment system. What are those? Oh no, these are for the speakers, right here. And then, oh yeah, this is if you had like, excuse me, if you didn't have this kind of connection for your speakers, you could just like unscrew that, put the wire there and screw it back down, and you have a good connection. I don't know what the advantages of it are, but you can see like just everything, just how like just, it's so amazing. Like eject button, where is that? And that right there, I don't know what that does. It does something, but I just found that this whole like how mechanical this is and how empty it is for such a large thing, and it's like 90%, 75% of it is just empty. You know what I mean? So now we're going to take a look at the internals for the actual turntable itself, and I tried to use the record deck from a new record player I have, but it works and it turns on, which tells me that it's nothing to do with the power supply, it's nothing to do with the wiring, because it does turn on the record deck and it does spin the turntable. It's just when I put the needle down, nothing onto a record, it just doesn't play through the speakers, and that's because back in 1989 you only used one, they only used like one port to connect everything, and this is mainly just for the power, and because it has external speakers, it doesn't need to have a digital audio converter built into this chip. So the chip on the new one is a lot bigger compared to this one because it doesn't need to have wires coming off of it to go to speaker outputs. So that's why there's only one connection on here. And if you take apart a modern day record player, there's multiple connections. One that has internal speakers like the one I have. I don't know the name of it, but it's like one of those ones. It's like $20 on Amazon. It's like portable. Now if I could get this off without damaging it anymore, maybe if I go in from inside, push it up a little bit. It's amazing how like well constructed these are. There we go. So it's like that right off, and then the belt. You can see it's in pretty decent condition, but I think over the years it lost a lot of its elasticity because it's that there, because it's supposed to go and attach to there, and that's supposed to spin freely. So it's either the motor itself or something with the band, and you can actually see like how long it's been like that, or how long it hasn't been cleaned, because there's like layers of dust in here. And then I found interesting this pulley, when you go like that, it turns it on. You turn it off. Well, it's an automatic, I think, turn off, but I just found it interesting, like how many mechanical parts are in here compared to the analog parts. And this right here is for the speed control. It only has two, so that's where there's only two wires soldered onto the panel, onto that little chip. And then we have the power. There's like two wires, I think, soldered onto that. One that actually goes from the needle to the speakers. So it's very simple. So it's either the motor itself that needs to be repaired and replaced, or something with the belt. I'm actually leaning more towards the motor now than I am the belt, but I did order a new belt just so I could have new parts in here, fairly new parts, because I mean, look at how loose that band is in there. So that is definitely a reason to change the band, because I certainly want the best connection that I can get from this old technology. So I will post another video soon with an update. I don't know how long that's going to be, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.